We're live.
We're live.
Hi.
No intro video.
Put it up again, Dave.
No, good dance.
It always happens to me. See, but now I need to wait for the. Do what again?
Oh, I was doing an intro dance for Maui. Rachel, you sing.
What?
You do the beats.
This is what happens, everybody, when Maddie decides to go speak at a conference during a .NET community live stream.
We take over. It's
The inmates are running the asylum, I think is the phrase. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the .NET MAUI community stand-up. Last one of the year, December 2023. I am David Ortnow, Principal Product Manager with .NET and MAUI. And with me to my left is...
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a product manager also on .NET MAUI. And we have a special guest.
With
the elf of the day.
Hello, I'm Shane Pureween on the GitHubs. I'm one of the senior developers on the MAUI SDK team. So you've probably seen me around inside GitHub and various commits and comments.
Various and many. And many folks probably don't know this, but for quite a while, Shane kind of stepped up to help lead the team in terms of sprint planning and prioritization and all those sorts of things. So he's been enjoying some additional responsibilities this past year.
Yeah, it's been fun. We started rewatching The Office, and I feel like I sympathize with Michael Scott a lot more now. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, that was basically me. That's how I did it.
I never once thought of you as a Michael Scott, but we're always our own worst critics, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're just getting warmed up here. We've got some really cool stuff for everybody today. We're going to do a little wrap up on all the cool stuff that happened this year. Not all of it, but some of the highlights, both from our contributing core team as well as the community of contributors and content creators. So there is a URL list that has a bunch of kind of wrap up content playlists, top videos and that sort of thing. If I can get back to the comments, or actually I can go to banners and then I can put the banner on the screen.
Sorry.
There we go. Look at that. Banner is on the screen and it's probably not clickable, right? Because it's YouTube. So I put it back here in the chat to everybody. Then it goes out to the chat. So check that out. MAUI, multi-platform app UI. Thank you very much. Some guy in Toronto. Yep. Never really thought that we would be talking about it in that way, but we just thought we'd always call it MAUI, and originally didn't even think that it would be all capitalized, but things happen. So there you go. It was just meant to be a name, and then somebody was like, well, we can make it an acronym. Because who doesn't love more acronyms, right? TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. Now we have a 4. Yeah, there's 4 letters.
Yeah. Isn't TLA supposed to be a TLI, or do I have those definitions?
What would TLI
supposed
mean?
To be like a 3-letter initialism?
Initialism? Oh, is this? I don't know.
Isn't it?
Tell me
because
more.
I think an acronym actually has to like be a word, whereas like if it's just letters, I think it's an initialism.
Oh. TIL.
I don't know. Hopefully Easy's watching and he can tell me if I landed that one or if I'm.
Hey, weren't you an English major? You should know this.
So I was an English major, but you know there are different kinds of English majors. I was one that just like I like to read and to write and to not do math and science. So I enjoyed that, and I was not much of a test taker. So just let me turn in an essay, turn in a short story, and that sort of thing. My grammar and my spelling is all majorly benefited from the Grammarlys and the Microsoft Words and whatever our stuff is. So anyway, okay. So yeah, we have a cool wrap up. Rachel has put a lot of her heart and soul into a PowerPoint, transitions included. So we'll run through some of that stuff. And then I also have some blogs, some wrap up things that I have in URL list if we have time even. So we're here really just to celebrate the year, celebrate the releases, celebrate the work of the team as well as the community, and showcase all that sort of thing. So let's have some fun. Rachel, do you think you're ready to share a PowerPoint? We're 5 minutes in. Don't we always say like, first 5 minutes, let's burn it with chit chat, and then people will show up. But what I always think is funny is like when you join a meeting and people are like, well, let's wait, 5 more minutes. And then like 1 minute later, they start the meeting. It's like, well, you said 5 minutes. Like I was going to go make a snack. It's never the case. Because then you realize just how long 5 minutes is when you're waiting.
Yeah, especially when Dave's talking.
I know.
All right. Well, let's get this party started.
Dramatic pause.
Let me reconfigure the slide. Maybe you like that better?
Yeah, we love that. All right. Well.
Nope, not that.
Oh. We've been axed. David has taken over the stream. It is now about him and Maui.
No, I thought if I pushed that, then it would be Rachel and her screen because she's the one presenting.
Maui 2023 wrapped is just Dave's face. All right. Well, in all seriousness, we had a big year. So 2023, big productive year. How many releases do you think we got in?
Shane?
9.
9?
Go with 9. Oh.
23.
Whoa.
23 .NET MAUI releases. 11 .NET 8 previews. 11 .NET 7 servicing. And 1 .NET HEA. So 24. That's pretty awesome.
Wait, there's a confetti thing in here somewhere.
Yeah. It doesn't quite ring as well as the 12 Days of Christmas countdown, but it still works.
Haven't you been doing this forever?
So, I mean, I think it's pretty cool because, as I mentioned in the blog post, this is the third major release in 18 months. And so that's a lot of effort, a lot of work. And then, wow, is it still going? I can stop.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's so it's significant. And as you compare, and this is in the blog post too. Yeah, sorry, Matt. Matt was like, stop the confetti. Thank you, Matt. Can I? No, I can't do that there. I'm clicking on the wrong screen. But when you compare .NET 8 to .NET 7 as a release, it's like you can see the velocity increase. You can see that more issues certainly came in, but more issues were fixed, more bugs were fixed, more releases were shipped. It was good in that respect. And then I even went further and was like, well, .NET 7 was a short release, right? It was like 6 came out in May, 7 came out in November of the same year. So it's not really apples to apples. But then when you include all of the service releases and how many PRs and bugs were fixed in servicing, still .NET 8 was beyond. So very cool stuff. I'm very thankful to the team for all of their hard work and the community.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel, back to you.
Absolutely. So let's see what went into all these releases, how much work we put into it. So some highlights on the Microsoft contributing side, as well as on the community side. We wrote a bunch of code this year. I mean, look at all these commits, right? We have so many commits from so many folks on the core engineering team, across Microsoft broadly, across the community. So many of us to celebrate. So thank you all. Give yourself a pat on the back. Be real proud of yourself.
I actually just did 2 more commits this morning, so I think I'm kind of good.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this was last night.
Oh, I'm getting the balloons. I just switched to my Mac, and now I'm getting the balloon experience. Look at that.
Are you streaming to us through Teams? Because that's a Teams thing, isn't it?
No, this is just through Edge.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The Mac OS feature.
Oh, I don't even know how I did that. All right. Well,
well, I see a Rachel Kang on here, 43
ooh.
commits. Rachel, you're gonna surpass that next year, even though you've switched from engineering to product management.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting number to see, especially the names here, because a lot of the names here are across all of like DevDiv pretty much, as far as working on Maui and contributing. So,
Rui, you're gonna need to come defend yourself against Matt here. Hey, if Rui's not doing the YAML, that means Matt, you're gonna have to do it. So better watch what you say. You rip on him, you're gonna end up owning it.
Well, there's so many different ways that we all contributed. So number of commits is one way of looking at it. A couple of other ways of looking at it are through our PR. So special shout out to some of the stars on our core engineering team: Rui, Matt, Hirween, Javier, Peppers, both in our top 5 for number of PRs merged and number of PR review comments. So yeah,
we did some digging into our querying engine, and we're able to get in there and see who's spending the most time doing PR review comments. It's pretty awesome. I want to get to seeing individuals who do the most reacting. So that would be pretty interesting. Who are the ones calling for shipping the most? Because that's what the rocket means, right? Ship it. That's what I've always thought. I always interpreted it as ship it.
Yeah.
So we've had fun digging into the data to pull some of these numbers together. So I don't know. Maybe this Matt, put this on your performance review, man. 2341 PR review comments. This is your year. Yes, Alan, the entire Maui team is here to troll me. Thank you very much. I'm here for it. Let's have fun.
That's what he does in our meetings to us. So
we have a metric. We have a metric on the team. It's what is it, Shane? Make Dave happy.
Yeah, it's an internal label.
It's an internal label. Thankfully for our customers, it's not a real label. So.
Yeah, I'd like a Make Shane happy label, but.
Well, Shane, you can always contribute more PRs. You're on this list, so make lots of comments, lots of PRs all the time. You're already doing the most.
Thank you, Copiel, for the nice comment. We really do enjoy working on this product, and even through some of the harder seasons, it's still a lot of fun. We love the product. I spend my evenings on it, many evenings, and so I know that's the same case for a lot of the developers on the team. John Dick was sending me videos of how fast his scrolling was on his own personal app the other day. Bragging a little bit, probably. Look how cool I am. But yes, we do love it too. Thank you.
All right, let's see what we have next here. More .NET MAUI highlights. So talked about the .NET release. We also had .NET Conf like a month ago. We had a bunch of sessions, and with that also a bunch of blog posts and more. Here's just a sneak peek in case you missed it. I couldn't fit it all on one slide, but we had a bunch of sessions for .NET MAUI. So if you haven't seen all of them yet, or you want to rewatch them, go to the .NET Conf session finder. I think Dave added the URL to the URL list, so you can find it there. Check out all the sessions, watch them, rewatch them, give them all the love it deserves, because we had a ton of highlights in .NET 8 for Maui. And of course, Dave's blog post, which also covers a lot of the highlights as well.
All right. The session finder was not part of the URL list, but I am working asynchronously with you. It is now part of it.
Amazing.
So, teamwork makes the dream work. I thought it was really a lot of fun at .NET Conf 2 to have you and Gerald there. as hosts. That was really cool. And we had a couple of our engineers able to come in town. And it was kind of a meet your manager kind of a week also, because with .NET Conf and Ignite happening in Seattle, we had reasons to get more and more people together. So it was really good to start seeing more of our team in person. But y'all did a great job hosting. I thought that was a lot of fun. And you got to use the touchscreen board there, which is a Blazor app. I can't remember what it's called or something. Jeff Fritz's baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was also the same week as Ignite. There was so much going on that week. And at Ignite, we had the awesome opportunity to meet some of you in person, which was super fun, and to hear from you. So that was just a really exciting week all around, right? We had .NET 8 GA, we had .NET Conf, we had Ignite, and we got to meet some of y'all in person. So,
and you got to race go-karts around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Maui bot picture is actually Rachel with the helmet on.
Yeah.
Racing her go-kart around in Seattle. Yeah.
However, I guess I should, bring up my concern with the bucket hat, Rachel.
What?
Because in every K-drama, the one wearing the bucket hat is the bad guy.
Right. In case
I'm saying.
Dave's on a K-drama fix, and he has a list of stereotypes. So I guess now I'm the bad guy. But
no, we call them stereotypes, archetypes, maybe. I don't know. Easy could tell us what to call them.
I think archetypes is good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I just see 90s raver when I see bucket hat. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But so Rachel, the bucket hat was before you put the sticker on it. Was it a .NET bucket hat?
This isn't a sticker.
Oh, that is the hat?
Yeah, this is the hat. Okay,
it's official?
Where did you get it?
There's 3 ways to wear this hat. All right.
All right, everybody, pay attention. Rachel's telling us.
One with a .NET logo in the front.
All right.
If you turn it around, .NET bot in the front, not a sticker. I haven't used any of my stickers because Dave wouldn't let me.
You said, can I put a sticker on my face? And I said, please don't.
He's like, it'll be on the internet forever. Are you sure you want that?
That's what I said.
Why not? And
is this bucket hat is this a Beth thing? Did Beth do this?
It's pink.
Ooh.
I know Jamie Singleton organized all this, so
Jamie did it. Thank you, Jamie.
Oh, this matches better with my background.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah, that's a way better fit, as the kids say, huh?
Good job, Shade. Way to stay relevant, my friend. All right, so if I go to the foundation store, is that where this is? I don't see it.
I don't know.
Somebody please rescue us. Tell us where the hat can be purchased.
Yeah.
And then if you post it in the chat here, then I will highlight it.
I need more hats. I heard Maddie's hat doesn't fit her, so maybe someone can claim Maddie's.
My head's bigger than Maddie's head. So
yeah, I have a pretty big head.
All right.
Maddie's tiny.
Well, what were some of our favorite highlights other than this hat?
Any fishing store, Cog3D says we can get a bucket hat.
Yeah, and then get your own stickers and just put them on.
So are you asking us for what our favorite highlights are? Or are you asking the community?
Well, I was asking you all, but we're also ready.
Well, I'll go with what this commenter says here: app startup, collection view, etc. I think that those are things that we continue to work on for sure. Collection view, especially, is something that we want to see improved in the near future. So that is on our trajectory, on our radar. Anybody else? What have you enjoyed from the past year? Your favorite highlights? I will put them on the screen.
Rachel, what's your favorite highlight? I'm pointing at you.
Me?
Yeah, I'm pointing at you. What's your favorite highlight?
We did a ton of keyboard stuff together.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that work we did with introducing accelerators and all the pointer gesture events. So yeah, I guess I'm a little biased there because we worked on it, but
yeah. So now there's nice APIs where you can close and open the input view, the input pane, if you want. Pointer gesture has been filled out. Oh, speaking of gestures, I think one of my favorite sort of new concepts was a lot of the work TJ did with the gestures. So I think typically it's been really hard to the abstracting out like what a gesture does, creating enough of that abstraction to be fully useful in all cases, because there's just so many things you can do. So TJ added a lot of really cool hooks into the platform events on like drag. What were all the ones he did? He did drag and drop, pointer gesture. I think we're sort of the first two that we were going on with this. So now with the drag and drop gestures, you should be able to take our drag and drop gesture, use the abstractions we have, and then if you need to do anything more, you can drop right into the platform from our events and like super customize all the drag and drop stuff. So I think it's I think that was a really cool addition to help break out of the box some and just really tweak how you might want to tweak. So I was pretty excited about that one. Oh yeah, and then accessibility. This .NET 8 was the first release where we got, what was it, Catalyst? I think validated. Yeah. So we got Catalyst all validated for accessibility. David was also another highlight of NET 8.
We just gotta keep it fresh with the different looks.
Yeah, so I think a lot of that, and then see, I'm trying to think of. I think those were kind of the big ones that popped out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much. It's hard to remember everything. It's been such a big year.
I definitely appreciated being able to get my keyboard key event listener working. Published my first NuGet package ever.
Nice.
Use at your own risk. But I mean, for me, that was a super nice thing to have, because I come from writing in other platforms where I can just do all kinds of bad things with events and gestures and unorthodox UX. So going back to what you said about the Mac validation of the accessibility, like what does that involve? What does that mean?
Yeah, so for every major version of .NET for Maui, we ensure that it's fully compliant with accessibility standards and best practices. And the way we did that is by submitting both our template app and also a more complex real-world like Maui app to our professional team of accessibility testers. And we submit the app for every platform that we support. So Windows, Android, iOS, and for the first time with .NET 8, also with Mac. We got it all in. And then after we do that, they let us know like, hey, we had trouble with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, like all these things, and they log issues. And we take a look at them and we learn how to, a lot of them, the really cool thing is they weren't actually issues with .NET MAUI itself, but issues with us as non-accessibility pros, not knowing how to use our own stuff to make things the best experience possible. So we learned a lot from that, and we fixed and closed all of those 20, 30, I don't know how many bugs there were that were reported, but yeah, so we got all those completed and we passed the test completion report, went from that 2030 number to 0, and we can say with full confidence that Maui is fully compliant with .NET MAUI with accessibility. Yeah.
That was full confidence. That was full confidence.
Yeah.
Right, Tom points out that one of the things he really likes is that Maui provides now NuGet packaging. So What that means is that the workload is still the primary way that you install Maui, either from the command line or it comes as part of Visual Studio. But we are now able to ship the controls layer, which is the cross-platform UI bits of Maui, not the platform bits, but the cross-platform bits, as a NuGet package. So as we are now previewing, we're about to preview Service Release 1, we'll be able to consume that on top of the existing workload install. So you don't have to reinstall everything. You can just reference the new NuGet package via package reference off of the feed and be able to test that. So that's how we are internally dog fooding it now this week and next. And then it'll get previewed soon to everybody, and then it'll get a stable release. The thing that we really like about this is it gives us the ability to have more hands and eyeballs on a release before it ships as stable. So we can, in a more, earlier catch anything that might be considered a regression or a problem with the release. And then, of course, it gets baked back into the workloads and will ship on the next shipping cycle of .NET and Visual Studio. Cool. There was actually another comment or question here. There's a question. And Shane, do you have any thoughts on this? I think from a prioritization standpoint, from where I sit, we still have a lot of work that we want to get done in terms of stability for apps migrating from Xamarin to Maui and continuing that path to be smooth before we start adding any scope to our work. But is this the material you stuff, anything you've looked at yet and have any
No, haven't really dove into that one much. So,
and we haven't gotten a lot of requests for it yet. So, that's another consideration when we're planning future work. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to play with it. I mean, if some people are excited to start playing with it, like you can swap out all of our Android styles and, kind of throw those things in if you want. In my sort of handler NuGets that I had where I was messing around with some of the fixes, I have some samples in the repository, for example, swapping in like a text input layout for some of like the material entry stuff. So yeah, and if you run into issues with Material U and you want to try it, log issues, it'd be good to sort of know maybe areas or where might be kind of some problems. So like I know Mike just did a PR for fixing the Mac idiom, for example, with Catalyst with some of the features. And like, that's not an area we super focus on, but he wanted to use sort of the Mac idiom stuff and he was able to fix that scenario. So, we are receptive to any of those cases where Maui might be blocking you and you kind of want to try to go for it on that. So, yeah.
Cool. Question from Wow Ojun. When will the VS Code plugin for Maui be released? So, of course, it's in preview today. I wonder if there's a way to... Look at that. See, now, Rachel, you can be the big one. I can just keep switching people around by dragging. So VS Code plugin is in preview today. We continue to work on it weekly. It continues to get updated. If you're using it, you're probably seeing, the notifications in VS Code to update and restart. So when will it be released as a stable release? The general answer is probably when it's ready. And I don't know all the gates that it wants to pass through to do that, but soon is probably the best answer I can give you. And if you email Maddie Montequilla at Microsoft.com, then you might get a more accurate answer.
Yeah, and we're all using that internally to do all of our development at this point. We're all VS Code. So we're all very excited to get that working as well as we can. So
we have more slides, so I don't want to get too far off track. We'll come back to some questions and stuff as we have time, but Rachel, take it back.
Yeah, so 2023, again, big year. We talked about our number of releases, some highlights with .NET 8, and our contributions. Hold on, let me find my cursor. Okay, so.
It's attached to your mouse.
Thank you. I don't have a mouse currently. I'm just using my
Mind.
It's attached to your finger.
Mind, yeah.
We're beta testing a new mind control mouse connection.
Oh wait, that was internal private. Dang
it. Okay. We had 2,804 issues closed this year. We had 2,571 PRs created, and 142 of those from the community. And we had 2,001 PRs merged, 83 from the community. So big year of contributions. You all have contributed so much, and we are so grateful. And we also keep losing my cursor. We reached 20.3K stars.
Woo!
.NET MAUI repo. If you haven't started yet, what are you doing? Go start it.
Now I'm not sure if I've started. I gotta go check.
1.4K forks.
Yeah, I think the stars is pretty cool. I showed this. I think we included this in .NET Conf, but we had kind of been comparing it to other .NET repos that have a lot of stars, and we have now surpassed .NET Core in a shorter amount of time, which is pretty cool. I mean, in the end, it's just vanity, but
yeah, it's a vanity metric.
That's funny. I had actually not started yet.
I hadn't either.
So I guess I'm starting Net 8. That was when I'm actually happy. So
yes.
Yeah.
We should go, interview the team, find out who started and who hasn't. Let's do an audit. Let's go chase people down.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't start until I had to take the screenshot yesterday. I also forked it, but that didn't change because you can fork as many times as you want.
I'm probably more excited about the forks, people that are pulling the code, looking at it, trying to do something with it. Part of what we tried to do here in Maui as compared to Xamarin and Xamarin Forms is to have a repository organization that was more friendly to contributors, because Xamarin Forms initially as a repo, which is where we see the vast majority of contributions, and so that's why I focus on that, started as a closed source project. And so it wasn't until right at joining Microsoft, I think, is when it happened that it was open sourced. And a lot of cleanup certainly went into the repository at that time. I was not around, but I remember going back to the original repo and looking at the closed source stuff and the comments and the PR reviews. It was quite an interesting read. But anyway, so hopefully folks are finding it to be a bit easier to navigate and find things, but I'm sure that we have, a lot of complexity in there too. And making it a more contributor-friendly project in general is a long-term goal that we'll continue to focus on. We do regularly, as I'm thinking about it, have a survey on all the .NET repositories, asking contributors and participants, how do you think we're doing in terms of maintaining the repo, responding to issues, managing and shepherding pull requests. So whenever you see one of those kind of pinned at the top of the GitHub page, please do fill it out. We take that feedback very seriously and continue to work on making the project as friendly and fun and useful as possible. Fun is kind of probably it's my priority, but everybody else is useful.
Yeah, and feel free to log issues if you have issues with the repository. You can log issues about having issues with the repository. So those especially are ones that we like listening to. I know Gerald's doing a big push right now to kind of make contributing stuff easier. We have a development doc on there. So yeah, if you run into problems contributing, let us know.
Yeah. So again, thank you to all of you. Here's just a small portion of pictures I could find online, but I know there's been over 500 contributors to the Maui repo. So thanks to all of you. If you see your face here or if you don't see your face here, it doesn't matter. We couldn't have come this far and done everything we've accomplished without all of you. So thank you, and thanks for tuning in today to celebrate all of you with us.
Yeah, it's very cool. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be recognized in this way, Rachel. For you to put my face on the screen.
Are you in here? Dave just happy. Are you in here actually?
I actually had a PR MERS at some point. If I'm not in there, your query's off.
I don't see him.
I know. Why is that? It's criminal.
That's intentional.
It is. Sure that it is. Well, you had to balance the grid. So you had to make a choice somewhere. But I mean, in all honesty, it's not just the people that are submitting PRs. It's the comments on issues. It's the feedback, both the critical feedback and the, positive feedback. It all matters. Would definitely like one more than the other, but it's all very good. Yes. Hey, Rachel, what are all the ways that people have contributed?
Perfect segue. You've all contributed in so many ways, as Dave was saying. Reporting quality issues, commenting on those issues, reacting to those issues, contributing code, authoring pull requests, getting those PRs merged, engaging in discussions, filling out surveys. So many ways. All of these ways. Oh, creating content. And so much more. And speaking of content, Steve and I were looking up Maui on YouTube to learn more, and we were stoked to see all of your content out there. Go and watch all of it. Is that a hat?
Yeah, it's my bucket hat. I think my wife's probably owned this for like 25 years.
What is okay?
I love it.
So we're having a serious review of things, and you messaged your wife to bring you the bucket hat.
All right, so everyone make sure to grab the bucket hat and watch all these videos.
I'm actually kind of down with it now. I mean, I don't have to be a bad guy to have a bucket hat. I guess I could redeem it. But back to the content stuff. Like, I know that at the beginning of the year, for some of the stand-ups, I was highlighting content from YouTube, especially. And of course, you're going to see a lot of James and Gerald here. Something to know about that is they're not always doing that on the clock, as it were. Like, Gerald is doing it because he enjoys it and it's fun, and he enjoys working with the community and using the product in that way. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And there's some really good educational content out here too. You can see that one of these from the Code Academy one, Code Camp, that very first one there has like almost 100,000 views over the past year. And if you look at James's stuff and just like tally it all up, he's got millions of views, I would imagine. I mean, the guy, he just pumps out so much content and has a great audience for it. So these are just the very top of the list. And there's so much content out there now. So if you're looking for some educational content, go get it. And thank you to everybody who creates these videos, because I have not been for the past year and a half. And I much prefer to watch you than listen to me.
Yeah, it's funny how many times we watch Gerald's videos when we're doing something. I think there's even sort of like there's probably there's a Gerald. It's like there's an app for that. It's kind of like that. There's a Gerald blog for that. Whenever we're curious about how to do something that we might have forgot.
If anyone is looking for ideas to create content, here is a nice suggestion for you. Pick a control and go deeper on it. Pick a custom control and go deep on different scenarios and how you might use it in a production application. I think that's a really, really good recommendation. I was talking to MobiCorp this past week, or was it last week? It's kind of blurring together. And we were talking about some of the needs for desktop and mobile kind of combined applications, and how do I manage my views when they're shared across a mobile view and a desktop view that have different layouts, etc. And how do I slice and dice that? I'm like, that sounds like a great topic for a blog post and a video series. So there's another idea for you if you're looking for ideas that people are asking about.
All right. Well, before we also talked about some top contributors on the Microsoft contributing coordinates, side. So I think it's time we talk about the top contributors in our community.
You went deep into the well for that transition right there.
That was
All
a
right.
good one.
So shout out to all of our community's contributors, and a special shout out to top contributors we saw this year. First, we have here by number of verified issues. We got 1, HobDev, 2, David Mall, 3, John Saris, 4, Pex Pro, 5, John H. Dev. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing any of your aliases correctly, but big wins. We really appreciate all of the issues you guys file and report, letting us know what your top priorities and asks are. We especially appreciate when they are quality issues with all of the detailed information and repros. So huge shout out to all of y'all for giving us all that information so we know what to focus on.
Well, and the fact that they're verified issues, we specifically like that demonstrates that it was a quality report, and maybe the first report needed some, feedback and things like that. But getting things to be verified is super critical because you can't go chasing absolutely every potential issue. And so knowing that it's a verified thing, understanding how many people it impacts, means that Shane is not chasing ghosts, right, Shane? No elf Shane chasing Christmas ghosts.
Nope. Just back to the rivers I'm used to. I don't know. Maybe. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Okay, that didn't
Rachel,
work.
Did you just feature that message from Gerald? You have power to do that?
Whoa.
You. Go community.
HubDev was around from forums days too. I remember HubDev doing a really good job logging a lot of issues in forums as well.
I think most, if not all of these folks.
Yeah. We've had a lot of conversations with HubDev around shell stuff as well. So they've been shining a lot of good light on things. So.
And here from the fearless leader, Jonathan Dick. Thank you very much. It is very, very helpful.
It is super helpful.
And we have no shortage of top contributors. As we were mentioning before, there's so many ways in which you all contributed. So let's see what else we got. We also want to shout out our top contributors by number of issue comments.
Ooh, I bet I know this one.
Yeah?
I'd have to think about it. Yeah.
1, William Buchanan. 2, Cat0363, C. David Young, Ghostbird, and Angel Rue. Thank you all for all your comments, for helping us provide more context, more feedback on the issues, and helping others to find workarounds and understand how they can better improve their projects as well. All of these community discussions that we see in the comments is super helpful for all of us. So big shout out to all of you for all your comments.
And putting this list together, Rachel, you did go through and read every single one of these comments, right? To verify the... No? You didn't do that?
Dave, that was your job.
I mean, even, all comments are generally very useful, of course, if you're just trolling and taking things off topic, that's just etiquette, right? So, but, providing good feedback, whether it's this is really impactful to me and making things not good, or here's some additional information to help the original poster, all those sorts of things. Love all of that stuff. It's all very useful and all factors into our prioritization when we're doing sprint planning. So your contributions are actually impactful. They don't go into the void.
Absolutely. Let's see what we have next. Top contributors by number of additions. So I think
keystrokes.
Code lines of code. Vivitos, Dot Morden, Dan Siegel, Janice W. again, and Demano VDD. Thank you all for contributing so much code to Maui. That's probably more code than Dave wrote this year. So
I mean, if we go look at my repos, I probably wrote a lot of code, and this year more than ever, ChatGPT Copilot, ChatGPT via Copilot wrote a lot of code for me. But I'm really curious to know the 1,225 editions. Like, what was that? That seems significant.
Yeah,
Dot Morton. I think you could write maybe more terse code, right? Like why 582? I'm teasing.
No, that was it. But Dot Morton helped out with some really good testing infrastructure, which was really nice.
When I think Dan had some nice contributions around some of the Maui program IOC related things, if I recall, maybe.
Yeah, there were sort of Prism enabling things. So he fixed a few things with embedding that was causing some issues across a few vendor areas. And then he fixed, he added, actually, I mean, it's a pretty nifty API. It's like a window creator, I think he called it. So like against the builder services, you could register a singleton window creator. And now every single time your code requests a window to be created, it'll pass through that service. So you can use that to sort of construct your app stuff instead of overriding create window or setting the main page. So just kind of some of the nice usability hooks.
Sweet.
Yeah. What was it? Okay. I think geolocation foreground listening. That was the big one from Vivitos.
Very cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. I mean, it was a full featured API they added here. So it was geolocation foreground listening, February 13th, right before Valentine's Day. Nice.
So much love.
Yeah. So much love.
Oh, 16 hearts. I'm going to give that one another heart. There you go. 17.
There you go. Now that you're into the starring of things, you can start hearting things.
Is that someone's rice cooker?
Oh, that's the laundry machine.
Laundry machine.
That's what I call it, the laundry machine. That's the extent of my...
It's our celebration music.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know why they picked a semi-unresolved melody for it. It's just to like... Yeah, you always want that thing to have like 2 more notes or something.
Have you not figured out a hack into it and provide your own? You have a house full of those skills.
Yeah, I think if you attach it to Wi-Fi, you can, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to attach it to Wi-Fi. But no, that's a good point. I should probably hook the speaker to something else. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, I guess this mic picks up a lot more audio, huh?
Is it a Samsung?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You recognize appliances by the sounds they make. That's funny.
Oh,
pretty funny.
That's funny.
All right. Top contributors by number of authored PRs. So let's see. Pictos, J Swift SPS 014, Pranav KM, and Espen RL. Thank you all for contributing and having the most number of PRs. Yeah, there's so much to celebrate here. We have so many top contributors on so many different facets. So yeah.
Go Pedro.
Yeah, go Pedro. It was over. I think he's still over at Uno doing good work there. And he's still, he's killing it across so many different vectors. He does so much work. He's leading on the community toolkit efforts so well. I chat with him a good amount on Discord stuff about other things he's adding. He contributed to even like the Shane Handler stuff with some of the fixes on that front. And it was awesome. It's awesome the level of contributions he does across the entire ecosystem of things. So it's awesome seeing that he never really like silos or anything. So
he may be a contributor to the next hat. I think, look at this hat. We need to get,
Yeah.
that's the next. We got 2 styles of buckets, and then get this like top hat thing going.
Okay, I will refrain from texting my wife to bring me a hat that looks like that.
Because you do have one. I know you have one.
Yeah, I got married in a hat like that.
Right. I remember seeing that picture, and you had those like 10-inch boot heel things that you were wearing.
Yeah.
Like 8 foot tall.
You need to see your whole hat collection on the next stand-up, Shane.
Yeah, we have 3 different tubs of hats.
Tubs. Wow.
Yeah, so that we have one that's tiny hats and one that's even tinier hats. That's
Do you have any teeny weeny beanies?
Do we?
That video popped up in my algorithm the other day. I have bins of hats and all kinds of costume gear too, but it's for my children. So.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So number of authored PRs, and then we also have top contributors by number of merged PRs. So
right, it's one thing to author; it's another thing to get it merged.
Yeah. So let's see who we got here. Vividos again. We have Ui King Xiang, V. Hugo Garcia, Janice W. again, Dan Siegel again. Thank you for your quality PRs. We loved seeing them get merged into the awesome Maui we have today. So, yeah.
Yes. Look forward to seeing many more of those in the next year. And it's not a shameless, come help, Shane and his army of elves. But it's because to be fair, and Shane, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. I'm obviously right. That actually working through contributor PRs takes probably more effort from our team than going off and doing some of that work ourselves. Is that fair to say?
It's a mix.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna be democratic about it, but in general, it takes a while, especially if you're working with somebody perhaps who's a new contributor to the repo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's one of those things that definitely pays in the end to kind of help people on it. But yeah, I mean, it's because you do have to sort of context switched into it's almost like you have to sort of fix it yourself first on some level to then sort of make sure that that's sort of the right approach on it as well. But the PRs, even if they are sort of, we have to work on them a good amount, they're always a good way it's always a really excellent starting point, regardless if the fix is kind of the right way to go or not. It's like, if I do this thing, it works. And a lot of times figuring out the thing you have to do to make it work can sometimes be the really hard part. So yeah, but I know because that's how it was working with Ui King Song with some of their first PRs. But they, a lot of the ones they started contributing after that, they got just more and more familiar and stuff. And so I think they still have like 3 or 4 that I really need to get to because they've been doing a good job.
So for somebody like Neor Matrix, what would you recommend if they're looking for some place to start for fixing bugs?
Somewhere to start. Let's see, Rachel, how well have we been doing on the good first issue stuff?
Why are you asking me?
He's a PM now.
Yeah, I need just to. It's a way to ask a question while I'm searching in the labels. Yeah, I mean, we have a good first issue labels. I can't say for sure if we've been curating that stuff. A lot of it is almost just. It's a lot of times it's hard to know what'll be a good first issue because there might be something like the color isn't changing, but it turns out that it's like some massively complex thing. Why it's not working. So, I mean, I guess my advice would just be maybe find an issue that kind of speaks to you, possibly. If there's something you're working on, like in your app, and it's not working, that's always kind of a good place to start and to just sort of start tinkering around. I mean, especially if you haven't done anything, most issues are almost sort of the same useful to some extent because a lot of it is just getting in there and learning how the code works, how it's structured. And then once you kind of get down in it, you might realize, okay, this one's a little bit too complicated. So I think a lot of times the good thing to remember there is how important sort of the journey of that understanding is, and then that'll sort of help you understand other parts. And then especially if you're working on issues, you can like ping us on the Discord if you have one that you're working on and you get stuck in the code. Yeah, we definitely like responding to folks in there that are working directly on the code. So if you have questions about how that stuff's working or things like that, we can sort of respond how to do that. So good first issue. That's an interesting one. It's kind of one of those things that's like, what's a good first song to play on the guitar or something? It's like the best first thing is to just get started, just
good analogy.
Yeah, the best thing to start on is to just start.
and find a song you like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be something you like, and it needs to be something that's in your wheelhouse. So if there's a particular platform or control that you like, like I probably am better suited to do Apple platform related things than Android. And but I'll dig into both when I have to. So 5 minutes to go, Rachel. What you got next for us?
What have I got next? I've got a big thank you to all of you for all your contributions this year, in years past, in decades past, in Dave's time past. What is that?
I hadn't used that one yet. I'm just using all of the...
It looks like you made me fart.
Made you? I'm pretty sure you did that all yourself. See, you fit on our team so well. That right there just tells me that you're on the right team.
This is a big thank you to all of you with hearts and cuteness and
with hearts. What are the fingers? Rachel is teaching me the heart fingers. What is it? That?
Oh, Dave can probably teach you.
Yeah.
Just make it look like a heart.
Am I doing it? I think I'm doing it.
Sure.
All the hearts for you.
There you go. Just make sure your fingers don't disappear, because when you were at the beginning of the show, when you had both of your hands up, you couldn't see your actual hands, so you could have been, flipping the bird. I have no idea what was happening. Yeah, right.
On Maui.
No idea.
dotnet bot hearts.
Whoa, man, you have so much stuff.
I do. So next year for .NET Conf, y'all should sign up to be speakers and host sessions. And I don't know if they'll have new merch, but maybe the .NET 9 merch will be even cooler. So, and speaking of .NET 9, that's going to be the next chapter for us, right? But in the meantime, we hope you all enjoy a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you next year.
So before we actually sign off, we have 3 minutes left. Why don't we ask, what do you want to see from .NET MAUI in 2024? I'm super curious. I've been asking people that as I talk to them this past several weeks since we shipped .NET 8. Like, what do you want to see from us next? More of the same? Anything specific? I had recommended, and we didn't really have time to fully plan for this, but like I wanted to go back through all of the comments and find out like what is the what were the top like 5 kind of slightly off topic but recurring themes from comments, and lo and behold, just before the show was going to close, we got it. Are there any plans for Linux?
It is.
So that would have been my guess to be the number one question that we have gotten on every show. Unfortunately, even though it might be the number one question, it is not commonly something that we see has a high value for our backlog of work. So when it does, we would love to do it, no doubt about it, but that doesn't really mean much, right? So for now, VS Code on Linux works. For Android development, would love to see a desktop Linux implementation, but that is not something that is on our roadmap right now. And we prioritize based on customer and developer need and demand. And so find us more good case studies for that sort of thing, and have it outrank some of the work that we're actively doing, which is primarily quality around Maui itself, and it'll happen. VJ wants .NET MAUI for web. That's actually one I haven't heard in a while, to be honest. That used to be something we got in Xamarin Forms a lot, and then it really died down. But also, VJ, not something that's on our radar. We really feel like for web applications, sure, it would absolutely be convenient to take your same view code and get it to render on the web. You've got good options for that today with like Uno, right? So for us, where we focus is on using Blazor and then mixing that Blazor into your Maui app with Maui Blazor hybrid. And we're finding that customers are really, really successful with that. So Alan Ritchie wants drawn controls. I do too, Alan. I do too. Would be nice to have that consistent UI, pixel perfect stuff across platforms. And I guess, of course, you get that today with Avalonia and Uno. And there are some third-party control stuff out there today. So
yeah,
but we'd love to have that in Maui.
We do have, I mean, we have the radio buttons of drawn control. That's our first sort of jump there. So, I mean, it's, we have been, I'd really like to get the checkbox drawn if we can in .NET 9. I don't know if
one
that
of them is drawn, isn't it?
No, on iOS it is, but that was before we had any of the drawing APIs. So it's all sort of just, the code for it is all super in the platform. Whereas with radio button, it's all in the XAML. So using drawing controls. So it'd be awesome to get the it'd be awesome to get checkbox put into that same bucket. So plus XAML support for styles would be cool too. So we can just plop all those control template styles into XAML. Would be a fun one.
I'm just cycling through the comments here and throwing them up. We're basically out of time. We're actually not even basically. We're over time. So need to get off the stream for anybody that's coming after us. But thank you so much to everybody for hanging out with us for the hour, for celebrating the year, for sharing your feedback and thoughts. And I'm just clicking things randomly. And hey, we'll be back in the new year. Keep an eye out for the upcoming service release. And for another awesome year of .NET MAUI as we continue to grow. So many people over the past month have jumped on board with MAUI. So the usage is growing. We're super excited to see more and more apps shipping with .NET MAUI, and we will be celebrating them in 2024 with you all. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Rachel, for hanging out. Thank you, Rachel, for the awesome slideshow.
Yeah, great stuff. Happy holidays.
All right. See you, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, happy holidays. Happy New Year.